All right, took my cold meds, check. Coffee, check. Let's make a video. Hey guys, welcome to my office. I have never really made a standalone video in here, but I want to give it a try. One of my Facebook fans recently sent me a link to a video by Guitarmageddon ZL1. Someone asked him to make his own dream car garage. Now we're talking money no limit. We're not worried about insurance, we're not worried about maintenance, we're not worried about any of the common sense things that people worry about whenever they buy a car. So, before I do this, I want to call out a couple of people. My good friend over in Japan, Your Car Bro. If you're not watching his videos and you like JDM cars, check him out. He's stationed over in Okinawa right now. He owns an R32 GTR, and I think, what was he? His wife owns the Evo 4? I can't remember. But they've got some really cool cars. And he makes videos all about that, car shows in Japan. It's great. Also, a good friend of mine from the Gulf Coast, Grant Visions, who's just getting started making YouTube videos. I want to see what he would pick out of all these cars, or just pick his own garage, because he's got a really interesting taste in cars. He owns a classic Beetle. His wife owns a classic Beetle, and he's restoring a Datsun 620 pickup truck, which is going to be sweet when he gets done. Now, on to my garage. First car that I would put in my garage, Alfa Romeo 8C Competition. Now, when it first came out, it wasn't the fastest car. It wasn't the best built. Top Gear, when they tested it, said that it's art. And that's kind of why I love it. It's beautiful. It sounds like a Ferrari. It looks like nothing else in the world. And for that reason alone, I need to have it in my dream garage. Jumping from Italian super exotic, we're going to my next spot. The next car that would be in my dream garage, 1990 Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX. Yeah, that's kind of a weird jump from the 8C, but follow me on this. This one's a little more personal. When I was in high school, I had a 1991 Eclipse. That thing was a piece of junk. It originally came with a 2-liter motor. Somebody swapped it out for the 1.8 that made some horsepower, like 2, maybe 3. But it was a fun car to drive. It had the shortest throw shifter that I've ever seen, and light. It was fun. I miss it. I can only imagine how much better that same car would be with about 100 more horsepower and all-wheel drive. And the 1990 was the only year that had the flip-up headlights. And flip-up headlights is scientifically proven to be better. Why? Because you can sit there and go, headlights go up, headlights go up, down. Headlights go up.
Don't you need something with 4 doors?
Okay, I guess eventually I'm gonna need to actually own a 4-door vehicle for the first time ever. I've never owned a vehicle with more than 2 doors. How did I get away with that? Next up on my list is gonna be my first 4-door selection, the brand new Chevrolet SS. The SS is basically like the GTO before it, and the Catera, and a few other cars that GM has imported from Australia, a captive import. That means that it's built in Australia, shipped here, we slap a Chevy badge on it, call it an SS, and nobody buys it. I don't know why nobody is buying it, because you get LS3, you can get a manual transmission, and I mean, it's a Q-ship, man. It looks like your normal average sedan, and nobody is gonna pull you over in an SS thinking that that is, you know, a 430 horse V8 monster. And you can fit all your stuff and car seats in the back. Happy?
Yes.
Okay, so right after the SS, I'm gonna go with the Jaguar XJ220. When I was a kid, I was kind of into cars, but I wasn't as much as I am now. Or, you know, when I was in high school. When I was like 5, I had Hot Wheels cars. That was my addiction. And I had one car that was my favorite all because it looked like a spaceship. It was the Jag XJ220. It did have its problems. A lot of people were very disappointed because when they originally showed the concept, it had a V12 all-wheel drive and was just gonna be a monster. But instead, when it made production, it was rear-wheel drive only, which my dog doesn't like, but I don't mind. Jerk. And instead of 12, it had 6 cylinders, but those 6 cylinders were from a Group B rally car. Turbocharged within an inch of its life. This thing was, for about a year, don't quote me on that, the fastest car in the world until it was dethroned by the McLaren F1. And in my mind, I think it looks better. Next up, we're getting a little more practical again. Sorry. everyone needs a truck every now and again, and I'm no exception. Even though I firmly believe all the truck you need is a V6 GMC stepside, the Dodge Ram SRT10 is overkill. It is more truck than anyone needs, and you can get it in a 4-door, even though the 2-door has a manual. 4-door just has 4-speed auto. Ram SRT10 was, yeah, I think it still is. I'm not sure, I'll have to look that up. The fastest production pickup truck in the world. It was motivated by Dodge's 8.3 liter V10 lifted straight from the Viper, put into a Ram body because why not? Anyway, you can get in a 4-door like I said, so you and your family can enjoy big smoky burnouts whenever, wherever, on demand. Next on the list, the Audi S8 Plus. Now, while this generation of the S8 is getting a little long in tooth and probably going to be replaced any minute now, I still love this car. I think it's a great design. The interior is Audi at its finest. Also, twin turbo V8 putting out 605 horsepower. Sign me up. You can take you and your whole family across continents in no time in this car. This is what it was made for, to carry you and 3 other people in the utmost luxury. Next on my list in the dream garage, the Lamborghini Veneno. Now, the Lamborghini Veneno looks mad. It looks insane. It looks like supercars should look. Now, while it debuted about the same time as the hybrid electric P1, the Ferrari, and 918, it's still my favorite out of all of those cars because, yeah, it cost more. At the time, it cost $4.1 million to buy new. And there were only 3 of them, the coupes. Let me specify, I want a coupe, not a roadster. I actually got to see the one that is owned by Lamborghini KS in Miami. It was at Lamborghini of Miami. It was under a sheet, but you could see like part of it. They had, you know, the red ropes around it. You were not getting near this car. I still stared and drooled a little bit because Veneno. Next on the list, the Ferrari 458 Italia. When it came out, I didn't think it was all that attractive, but after seeing it, it sort of grows on you. And then after getting to drive it, it grows on you even more. This car makes driving fast effortless. You know, where some cars are fighting you whenever you start going fast, this car is sitting there helping you go faster and faster and faster. If you're a good driver, it makes you look like a great driver. If you are a great driver, it makes you look like a phenomenal driver. And if you're a phenomenal driver, it automatically changes your last name to Senna whenever you jump in this car. It is that good. Next, the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. This is up there on my dad car list because it's phenomenal. It's like a Raptor, but not quite as massive as an F-150. It's a Raptor light, but SUV. And I actually prefer it. The 4Runner is already an incredibly capable vehicle. If you ever watched Expedition Overlord, one of their vehicles is a 4Runner. It's not even the TRD Pro, it's the Trail Edition. And that thing has been to hell and back. It is a phenomenally capable vehicle. The TRD Pro, I can only imagine. I don't know if I'd ever use even like a percentage of its off-road prowess, but it's good to know that I can. And I would have mine in white because in white, head on, it looks like a stormtrooper. And anything that looks that much like a stormtrooper isn't gonna hit anything, so insurance should be cheap. Lastly, rounding out the list has to... I can't pick one. I want a whole bunch of LS7 engines. Yeah, you gotta worry about it dropping valves every now and again, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. I can throw one in the Solstice and guess what? I've got a phenomenally capable car for 1/10 of the price of a brand new Z06. Throw it in the GMC that I have outside, guess what? It becomes a cut rate Dodge Ram SRT10, but with all GM components, and it'd probably sound better. If I throw a LS7 into a pile of metal tubes and tires, I have the most awesome go-kart to ever exist. Maybe I can talk Amanda into putting one in the Altima. Anyhow, that's gonna do it for my garage. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below and I'll make some more. You know, we can cover all sorts of different topics, and I really enjoyed making this video. If you enjoyed watching it, like I said, let me know. And if you're new around here, subscribe. I promise it's only gonna get better. Your chair, your chair. So since it's really the going thing to make YouTube videos complaining about YouTube's new algorithm, I figured I would make one. But instead of complaining, I'm gonna let you look at my dog for the next 10 seconds. Isn't he cute? YouTube's algorithm is messing up with people. But look, it's a puppy. Doesn't that make you feel better? Doesn't it? Up, down. Headlights go up. Headlights down. My wife's off screen contemplating why she married me.